Welcome back to Let's Talk Football. And how about those Chiefs? Welcome back. We just finished up Week 12 in the NFL regular season, and we are going to be talking about the rival game against the Raiders. We are down by 2 touchdowns, a pretty large deficit against Aiden O'Connell. Now, Christian, how do you feel about that game, man?
Well, it looks like our offense is back to being our old selves again, and the top for the dogfight in the AFC continues.
Now, something happened in that game. Mahomes rallied up the offense, and guess who ended up scoring a touchdown for us? Well, Pacheco scored 2. Justin Watson also scored us a touchdown. Now, speaking of Justin Watson, Christian, I don't know if you know, he got knocked down and so got up and made a play. Now, would you like to describe that play for the people who don't know?
Anyway, Justin Watson was running his route, and he was going left, then he got knocked down by Spillane of the Raiders. And then he got right back up, and he was wide open in the end zone for a touchdown. And then he was talking trash, and he got called for an unsportsmanlike penalty. But anyway, we did get the touchdown either way.
Now, before you interrupted me, because I thought you were done, so that's my bad. But, so, Travis Kelce had a comeback game, 91 yards. Did he have a touchdown? I can't even remember.
I don't think he did,
there's so much
but
that happened that game. But the main thing that I was really excited about was Rashee Rice, the rookie Rashee Rice, out of SMU. He came out and he balled out, 107 yards for a touchdown. Now, this is what we needed because we need somebody to be for sure wide receiver 1 in the room because we can't always count on our tight ends. We can't always just sit there and count on Kelce because Kelce's going to get double covered and he's going to have one of the best safeties in the league, the best corners in the league. It doesn't matter. They're going to man up with Kelce. Now, Christian, how do you think Kelce combated this game, and how do you think he got through it?
Well, apparently it looked like the Raiders were kind of double teaming him a little bit, but then once they let him free, Travis Kelce got some exceptional yardage, and that was our Kickstarter to coming back and eventually winning very comfortably.
Comfortable win, definitely. Because I just gotta say, it was very easy to come back. Because the Raiders, the only thing they did was do another field goal, and that was about it. Aiden O'Connell could not get the ball moving. They could not do anything at all. Devontae Adams could not get the ball moving. Nobody could get the ball moving. Corners came out, played. Defense came out and played. I mean, exceptional game from KC. I mean, really good game. But after the game, of course, Donovan Smith was injured. He got, what did they say, Christian? They said a stinger on the injury report. And Sky Moore had an issue with something too.
I'm not sure, but we were very short-handed in terms of our receivers. Kadarius Toney was hurt. Sky Moore had something wrong with him, and there was lots of issues on our receiving core.
Which would have been nice if Justin Ross was still around, but as you know, he's on the exempt list right now, but he has had all charges dropped. Justin Ross had all of his charges dropped, and we have found out that the property that he did damage was a little bit of the hotels, but also mainly his stuff. Now, I gotta say, he should not have done those things, but are we glad to have him back?
Absolutely.
We're absolutely glad to have him back. A guy of his talent, we're glad to have him back, and that everything was not as bad as it seems. And now, when we get to talking about this, there's something great that happened after the game. Well, Justin Ross, speaking of the receivers, Kadarius Toney, obviously they get injured like Christian brought up. Yeah, I believe it was something with his knee, maybe his ankle. Coach Reese said he wanted to let him get hit, basically. He didn't play, but it looks like he's going to be back. It looks like it's nothing too serious because he's a full practice participant, and he should hopefully make a healthy return back. Richie James also recently returned, and Montreal Washington has been reactivated on the roster. And Christian, what did Coach Reed do after this game? What milestone did he achieve? Let's see if you know, Christian.
He was the first coach in history to win to get the most wins for 2 franchises.
The Eagles and the Chiefs. That is a crazy achievement. That is amazing. Could not be any more happy than for Coach Reed. Because who was it, Christian? Was it Brett Veach, or who was the man that came over there and gave Coach Reed that ball?
Our GM?
Yeah.
Clark Hunt?
Clark Hunt ended up delivering Andy Reid the ball afterwards because Andy Reid is now the most winningest head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is a great accomplishment. And now, I just got to say, we also saw another rookie play this game. We saw Wanya Morris. Didn't really play that much, but of course you expect it from a rookie. He's probably going to end up being Donovan Smith's replacement for next year. And more news, afterwards the game, a Raiders player is so delusional that he thinks he's still better than us and his entire team is still better. How do you feel about that, Christian?
Max Crosby?
No, it was not Max Crosby. It was a no-name Raider that ended up coming out and talking about us and claiming that the Raiders are still a better team. Now, Max Crosby always talks a lot of trash to get the rivalry. Max Crosby always likes to talk a lot of trash to his rivals. He's very known for that. Mahomes has came out and we always blow up the Raiders because of it, right? And so, speaking of Max Crosby, though, let's just talk about this real quick. His knee, swollen up, looked like it had a bunch of water in it. Very unfortunate. He almost did not play, but he was cleared to play, fortunately. So that was great.
Yeah, I mean, he still sacked Mahomes once.
But other than that, Mahomes does not really get sacked. Mahomes has had a pretty rough start to the year, but similar to last year, he can come back. And I'm not too worried about it. Now let's talk about the Chiefs versus the Packers. We got a lot to worry about with that defense, don't we? We got hope and pray Jair Alexander does not do too much. Quay Walker's going to be a problem. And, man, Devondre Campbell's still over there. Kenny Clark, it's going to be very unfortunate if we mess up. And we got Rashawn Gary, who's coming off a recent...
On the road at Green Bay. It is going to be tough. But Mahomes just has to keep on slinging and just got to shut down Jordan Love with that pass rush.
Can we outlast Jordan Love and the Packers is the big question. That is the biggest question of today. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But, Christian, with how all the teams have been doing around AFC, NFC, we got to debate real quick. Who are the best and who are the worst teams? Because we are more than halfway through the season.
Philly, San Fran, Detroit even, and Baltimore in the AFC, KC, Miami's doing really good, even Jacksonville. But currently, this is how the playoff picture goes, as there is a dogfight in the AFC for the top seed and for the wild card. So currently, this is how it goes. In the AFC, it goes Baltimore, KC, Jacksonville, Miami, and then the 3 wild card spots are Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Indy, with multiple teams in the hunt, such as Houston, Buffalo, Denver, and I guess you could say the Raiders for a little bit.
Thank you, Christian, for pointing that out to us. And as always...
Nope, I'm going the NFC, too. In the NFC, though, it's a little bit different. Philadelphia, obviously the top in the league. They're 8-1, or 10-1. And then it goes San Fran, Detroit, Atlanta for now, and then it goes Dallas, Minnesota, Seattle, and some teams in the hunt like the Rams and the Packers and the Saints and the Buccaneers. But also there's some teams that are tanking for that number 1 overall pick, and likely it'll be Carolina, well, technically Chicago because of their draft pick they traded last offseason. But Arizona, New England, New York, they're all down there too. They could maybe get Caleb Williams. I'm not sure about Chicago or Arizona though, but we'll see in April. But for now, the playoff picture is on, and it's time to look at multiple scenarios that will be happening here in these next couple of weeks.
Trevor Lawrence is all about it. He wants more good quarterbacks to get drafted into his division. He had a dogfight with C.J. Stroud. Stroud is crazy. He is the Houston Texans' best quarterback they've had in a long time, since Deshaun Watson in his golden days. But Deshaun Watson's golden days are more than over. But, there's a lot that's going on. Anybody can come back. We've seen it before. We've seen the Chiefs last year be in this position and still come back. Eagles, it's very unlikely the Eagles go 16-1. I see the Eagles going 14-3 or 13-4. Because because they still got a pretty tough road.
And they got the Niners and Cowboys next. And then they got Seattle, then New York, and then Arizona, then New York again.
They're going to be pretty worn out. And Jason Kelsey's getting a little old, so we'll see how their offensive line holds up. But until then, thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Football. And how about those Chiefs?